sorry guys for taking so long to record this video, but I'm starting off with my eyebrows using this L.A Girl eyebrow pencil. I really like this pencil. It's soft enough in color where it's not too bold, but it also is like pigmented enough where it gets the job done, and it's like $4, guys. It is a really good pencil. I'm using my Makeup Revolution in C6 to carve out my brows. I usually like to use a lighter color just to really enhance the brow and the pigment of the eyeshadows. So I'm using the Morphe and James Charles palette, and guys, this is a big staple palette for me. I really love how the center shades are the biggest because those are the ones that I use the most, especially when I'm just looking for a simple transition in my eye. But for this look, I use mainly those colors because if you blend them correctly, it'll just turn out to this really beautiful blown out like brown smoky eye. And that's really what I'm trying to do. This is the look I'm actually gonna be doing for Valentine's Day. I'm not a pink or red look for a date. I like to just do a really smoky look or a really simple look with either a bold red lip or a nude lip. You know, I'm a simple girl when it comes to dates. So if you're like me, this is gonna be a perfect eye look. It's not super hard or anything like that. I do write the list of all the brushes and the shade names that I am using. Just remember, a big tip is as I'm going darker in shades, I'm using brushes that are smaller and smaller. I do use the same brush twice for two different shades because I feel like it's only going to deepen it. It's not going to, I don't want it to be so precise. So if I do use the same brush, that's the reason why. But I also use smaller brushes because I don't want the darker colors to be everywhere. I just want them in specific areas. So just remember that when you're doing a smoky eye or when you're just using darker colors anyways. The bigger the brush, the more product is going to blend everywhere. The smaller the brush, the more concentrated the color is going to be, and the more precise the area of that color is going to be. So that's just a big tip for me. I'm also using the Kat Von D Trooper eyeliner. I really like this eyeliner. I got this recently. I'm not sure if it was in a BoxyCharm or in an Ipsy, but I love this thing. You know what? No, I didn't get it. I got it in a Sephora Pro thing. But I love this eyeliner. It's really good. It's really concentrated. Right now, I'm just applying black eyeshadow on top of the eyeliner. I basically just want a smoked out liner. So I'm placing the black first because I want that to be the darkest, but I also don't want to put it too high up. The higher it goes, the harder it's going to be to blend, and it's not going to look like a smoked out wing. It's going to just look smoked out. And then on top of the black, I'm using that really nice chocolatey brown to kind of blend it into the orange. And I go back with the orange just to make sure that it is present and you can see it. But like I said, this look is not meant to look perfect. It's meant to look smoky. It's meant to look sultry. It's not going to be crisp and perfect. If you're looking for that, then there could be other videos on my channel that you'll find something a little bit more crisp. But this one is just a really pretty, you know, everyday smoky eye. So a big habit that I make is wetting my brush with setting spray or either water, or using some type of base on the brush to make the shadow kind of pop more. I'm not saying that every shimmer shadow needs this to be done, because this shadow doesn't need to be done. I just really like the look of a wet type of eyeshadow. And also I find that when you wet the brush, it's not as much fallout. This primer that I'm using is really good. It's a primer and like a moisturizer all in one. It's really good. And this foundation, guys, you need it. If you have never tried the Makeup Revolution foundation, the Define and Conceal, you need it. It's really good. It comes in a whole bunch of shades. I'm pretty sure it comes in like 30 shades. It's really good. It's super matte, but not matte to the point where it's drying, because I have really dry skin, especially in the winter, and this does not dry me out. Now I do use this with a brush, but you can use it with a sponge, but I find that when you use it with a sponge, it kind of shears it out a little bit. And I mean, for a look like this, if you want to go Valentine's Day, I want full coverage. So I like a brush because it keeps it as full coverage as possible. Right now I'm using this brush. It's from the Jaclyn Hill brush set. She claimed that this one's for blush, but I find that it's a little bit too dense for blush. And I really liked it for foundation. I fell in love with this brush for foundation. So just use any brush that you feel comfortable using with foundation, or you can just use a sponge. And I'm also pairing this foundation with the concealer. I just feel like it goes great together. And I mean, the formulas are very similar, so it blends in really good. And you can tell I love this setting powder. I use it so much. And yes, I do use a lot of her brushes, Jaclyn Hill's brushes, but honestly, they're amazing. I really love these brushes. So I usually start bronzing first, and this specific brush is really cool because it's fluffy, but also the sides are flat. So you can kind of contour using this. Like, you don't really need a different brush for contouring, but it's fluffy enough where it doesn't overly, you know, put product onto your face, and it blends it very effortlessly. And I love bronzing, as you can tell. And the shade that I'm using to contour is not too strong of a color. It's not too dark. It's a little bit cooler than I normally would go for, but I find that this specific color just sharpens my cheekbones without it being too much. It doesn't, not saying that it's supposed to look natural, but it's the most natural color for contour that I find. And I really love this contour palette. Like, it is one of my favorite ones that I have so far. And I have a lot, so that says a lot about it. And this blush I actually got in an Ipsy bag last month. And I really fell in love with this color. Like, I find like in my skin tone, it's a perfect neutral blush. And this highlight is super gold. And I don't know why I did it, but I accidentally mixed a different color with the highlight, so it kind of shows. But you're gonna see that I end up fixing it by putting a load of setting spray and tapping it in, just to make sure that that stripe on my face went away. And it does. It really does. So I'm just applying the color to my lower lash line, basically in the same order that we did our winged liner. So I started with the black, then I started with the dark brown, then that burnt orange. And I don't really do anything else to it. I don't like overly doing the lower lash line. Sometimes I feel like not doing the lower lash line is really pretty. But for this specific look, it just brings it all together. And like I said, I really love these eyeshadows. They're super pigmented. So you just gotta be careful because that black is super black. So after mascara, I'm putting on lipstick, and this is my new favorite liquid lipstick. It's the Love Bite by Rimmel, and it's the best. And guys, this is a really simple look. I find that it doesn't take a lot of effort. I hope you guys enjoy this look, and I hope you guys find that it's not as hard as it may have looked in the beginning. And I want to thank you guys all for stopping by and showing my page some love. Thank you.